Well, hey, geometry class. We're starting a brand new chapter with triangle. What is it? Relationships within triangles, I think, is what we called it. And there are several things. There's perpendicular bisectors and angle bisectors and medians and altitudes. And we're starting with triangle midsegments. And a midsegment is something where if you have a triangle and you cut a side in half and another side in half and connect those with a line, what you'll find is this thing called a midsegment. And there are lots of cool things about it. In fact, what I'm going to do, cool, says the math teacher. There's a couple of the people in here that are snickering, saying, really? But if I draw a line down here to make another midsegment and another midsegment right here, what we can hopefully see is that these are parallel, these are parallel, these are parallel. Everything is parallel. And further, especially based on our recent discussions of congruent triangles, we have actually created 4 congruent triangles. This triangle is congruent to this triangle, congruent to this triangle, congruent to this triangle. And furthermore, each one of these 4 triangles is a smaller version of the overall big triangle, which is kind of a pretty cool thing. So let's say that this whole side right, oh, yellow. Let's say this whole side right here is 10. And this whole side right here is 8, and maybe this whole side right here is 12. Does it seem reasonable to think that this would be 4 and 4? That this right here would be 5 and 5. This right here would be 6 and 6. Well, that means if these are all similar triangles, this is 6, this is 4, and this right here is 5. Let me clear all of this stuff away and boil it right down to gravy. If this right here is 12, this midsegment is going to be half that. The midsegment, because it is found by cutting those things in half, is itself half of that side it is parallel to. Which means we could do all kinds of pretty neat algebra with these things, which is what your homework is going to ask you to do. Remember that this packet of notes, you have a paper copy, but the answer key to the notes is also on Google Class or on the flash drive. So you can get to those. But let's do one problem of little bit of algebra and see if we can see how this works. It looks a little bit ugly. Actually, let's do number 9. Let's do number 9. We'll zoom in on that, and it tells us that these are midsegments. MN, NO, and MO are midsegments. Find the perimeter of the overall JKL. All right, well, they told us here that this is 42. If this is 42, that means this would have to be twice that, or 84. They tell us that this right here is 49. That means this would have to be twice that, or 98. Okay, I'm 2/3 to my perimeter. But this, it doesn't give us any numbers at all, just a bunch of letters. But isn't it true that if this is a certain amount, this has to be twice that? Does that mean that if you take the 6x minus 1 and double that, you'll end up getting the other side? And that's what we can do. You don't have to double it this way. You could actually do a 2 times and distribute it through. That would work. But that would give you a 12x minus 2 equals 13x minus 10. If I subtract 13x from both sides, that would give me a opposite of x minus 2 equals negative 10. If I add 2 to both sides, that would give me the opposite of x equals negative 8. And if the opposite of x equals negative 8, wouldn't that mean x itself equals positive 8? Yes, it does. And if x equals 8, I can put that into this right here and figure out what the length of that side is. 13 times 8 isn't a very easy one to do. That's going to be 80 plus 24. That's 104 minus 10 gives you 94. So it looks like this side right here is 94. I now have all three of my sides that I can add together and get the perimeter. 180, 260, 270, 272, somewhere in there. Check the notes and see if I did it right. But that's the idea for problems like this. Check out the other videos at the computer using this pretty cool thing called GeoGebra. There I go with the cool math stuff again. Email me with questions. I'll see you next time.